unobstructed space with a width of more than 12 meters to 15 meters, it is to provide with roof trusses space from about 4.5 meters to 7.5 meters. These trusses may rest on columns or on masonry walls along the sides of the building. If the span of the roof truss is small, say less than 4.5 meters, the truss may usually anchor to the walls at both ends, and the anchor bolts at any end may pass through slotted holes in the bearing plate to make some provisions of expansion or contraction due to temperature changes. For longer spans, trusses should be hinged on one end and supported on the rulers or sockets at the other end. Okay, so we have some definitions of terms. We have the bay length or the bay. The bay is the distance between roof trusses. So the distance na nuka DJI roof truss, that is called bay. Then purlins, that is longitudinal beams which rest on top chord and preferably on the joints. This will carry the roofing system. Then we have this span, that is the distance between the supports. Then we have rise, the vertical distance from the ridge to the eaves. Then we have pitch, the ratio of the rise to span. So we have here the different typical types of trusses. We have how truss. So how truss digitid toy. So digitid toy. That is how truss. Then we have fink or cambered truss. That you met fink or cambered truss. Then we have sawtooth truss. Ito naman yung sawtooth. And the other one is Pratt truss. Ito yung Pratt truss at saka yung isa. So this one. Then we have Warren truss. So this is a Warren truss. And the other one is scissors truss. So the loadings, we have dead load. So weight of cover, weight of roof cover, rafters, and purlins. So that is from 0.24 kilopascal to 1.2 kilopascal. Then we have weight of bracings, bracing system. So 0.024 kilopascal to 0.072 kilopascal. Then we have weight of ceiling. So weight of ceiling and other suspended loads. That is from 0.4 kilopascal to 0.5 kilopascal. So the dead weight may vary depending on the type of materials to be used. NSCP or other building material books give the different dead load of every type of materials. So digidi dead load tayo di nga impakpakita ito'y rugrugina. So those are the different dead loads. But pwedeng mag-vary doon based on NSCP kasi kulang yung ibinigay ko doon. For the most complete materials, we have the NSCP. So NSCP yung basis natin. Then we have the roof live load. So roof live load, that depends on the slope of the truss. So yung slope of the truss at saka yung effective area ng roof. So doon yung roof live load natin. Then we have wind loads. Wind loads shall be based on the provisions of NSCP. Then wind load computation is based from height, shape, topography, exposure, and zone. So ito yung mga kinakailangan nating i-determine. So based on the height, shape, topography, exposure, and zone. So weight of truss. The weight of the truss can be estimated by use of an approximate empirical formula. It shall be noted that any other empirical formula should be used with discretion or with adapting modification. So yung weight of truss, it is stated here that is based on the empirical formula. Or pwede rin nating i-determine yung weight of the truss based on the total length of the truss. Then pag meron tayong cross-section ng truss, and we know the unit weight of the material, so we can compute the weight of the truss. So the weight of the truss is from HS Jacobi for wooden truss. So that is W. So that is the weight of the truss in kilopascal. So W is 0.024 plus 0.012 L. So where W is the weight of truss in kilopascal and L is span in meters. So for W, or for steel truss, based on C.E. Fowler, so W is 0.019 plus 0.006 L. So ito naman yung empirical formula for the weight of the truss for steel truss. Okay, so let's have here an example of the analysis of roof truss. So yung roof truss natin, okay, we have here the roof framing plan. Kaya nga pinapagawa ko kayo ng roof framing plan in which we will be going to analyze the dead load, the live load, at saka yung wind load. So ito yung roof framing plan natin. So we have here the truss. The spacing of the truss is 3.5 meters. So 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, and 3.5. So the span of the truss is 9 meters. So 9 meters ito. Then we will neglect the effect on the eaves. So ito yung eaves natin. Yan yung eaves. So neglect effect of eaves if support is not at the end of the eaves. So pag yung support natin hindi dito sa end ng eaves. Okay, so neglect natin yung effect dito. Okay, so the figure shows roofing plan and truss diagram. So ito naman yung truss diagram natin. Our truss diagram is 2.6 in height. Then the span is 9 meters. Ito yung 9 meters. So weight of roof cover and purlins, 1 kilopascal. Okay, so ito ibinigay yung mga weight. But for your plate, kailangan yung i-identify yung material. So yung material, you will base that on the NSCP. So meron naman kayong na-download na e-book sa NSCP, yung pinakita noon ni Mr. Shason. So you can use that one. Then we have the weight of bracing on top, 0.025 kilopascal. Weight of bracing at the bottom, 0.04 kilopascal. Weight of ceiling, 0.5 kilopascal. Then this is steel truss. So assuming 1/3 of the top chord and 2/3 of the bottom chord will be on the distribution of the weight of the truss. Okay, so we have here the spacing at the bottom. Ang spacing ng bottom is 1.5 meters. So 1.5 plus 1.5, 3. 3 plus 3, 6 plus 3, 9. Kaya 9 meters ito. Then dito naman sa spacing on the top chord, that is 1.32 meters. So you can compute that one based on the hypotenuse of the top chord. So that is 2.6 square plus 4.5 square. Then take the square root. So pag nakuha nyo na yung square root, you divide that by 3 and that is 1.32. So the truss from the formula, the weight of the truss is 0.019 plus 0.006 L. So we have here 0.019 plus 0.006 times L. The span of the truss is 9 meters. So times 9. So we have 0.073 kilopascal. So yung weight ng truss, it should be in kilonewton. So kilopascal, that is pressure. So we multiply that by the area. So the area there is 3.5. Itong spacing ng truss, 3.5 multiplied by 9. So we have 0.073 multiplied by 3.5 times 9. So we have 2.3 kilonewton. So 2.3 kilonewton that is the weight of the truss. So yung isang truss lang. So yung isang truss lang ang i-analyze natin and it will be the same all throughout the trusses. So isang truss lang yung i-analyze natin. So we have the weight of the truss is 2.3 kilonewton. So for top chord, okay, sinabi dito na assume 1/3 for top chord and 2/3 for bottom chord. So for top chord, that is 2/3 divided by 3, so we have 0.77. Then for bottom chord, 2/3 times 2.3 multiplied by 2/3, so we have 1.53 kilonewton. So the weight of the bottom chord is 1.53 and the weight of the top chord is 0.77. Okay, so we have panel load and top chord. Okay, so we have the roofing. So ito yung top chord natin. The weight of the roofing will be carried by the top chord. So we have 1 kilopascal, that is the weight of the roofing. So multiplied by the tributary area. Ang tributary area natin is 3.5. 3.5 dito multiplied by 1.32. So we have 1 times 1.32 times 3.5. So we have 4.62. Then we have bracing on top. So 0.025 multiplied by 1.32 multiplied by 3.5. So we have 0.12 kilonewton. Then for the truss, so bilangin natin yung number of joints sa truss. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1/2 dito sa support, 1/2 din sa support dito sa kaliwa. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1/2 and 1/2, that is 6. So yung weight ng top chord, that will be divided by 6. Kaya we have 0.77 divided by 6. And we have 0.13 kilonewton. So the weight of, or the panel load on top chord will be 4.87 kilonewton. So ito ngayon yung ilalagay natin na force sa joint on top chord. Then panel load on bottom chord, the weight of the ceiling is 0.5 kilopascal. So we multiply that by the tributary area. Tributary area is 1.5 by 3.5. So we have 0.15 times 1.5, 0.5 times 1.5 times 3.5. So we have 2.63 kilonewton. Bracing on bottom chord. So bracing on bottom chord, we have 0.04 kilopascal. So multiplied by 1.5 times 3.5. Then we have 0.21 kilonewton. Then for the truss, so the bottom chord is 2/3. Then 2/3 of 2.3, that is 1.53. So 1.53, so we count the number of joints on the bottom chord. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1/2, that is 6. So we have 1.53 divided by 6, and that is 0.26 kilonewton. So the weight or the panel load on bottom chord will be 3.10 kilonewton. Okay, so ito ngayon yan. So 4.87, 4.87, 4.87, 4.87, and 4.87. So take note na meron tayong 1/2 of 4.87 dito sa support. So meron ding 1/2 of 4.87 dito. But we can disregard the joint load at the support since meron naman tayong reaction dito and it will be counteracted by the reaction. So ina-counteract ngayon yan ng reaction dito. So bali wala na yung effect yung panel load dito sa joint or the support. Then we have here 3.1, 3.1, 3.1, 3.1, and 3.1. So if we have to get the reaction, so the reaction will be 19.925 kilonewton. So that is symmetrical. So i-add lang natin yung top chord at saka bottom chord, the total weight on the top chord and total weight on the bottom chord, divide that by 2, so we have 19.925 kilonewton. Then we designate vector force AB. So ito yung AB. Then BC ito. We have CD, DE, EF. So this is FG. The reaction here is FG. Then we have GH, HI, IJ, JK, KL, and the reaction here is LA. So we construct the force polygon for the reaction or the forces. Okay, so we have here AB. Ito yung AB. So i-measure natin yung AB by using the scale. So yung scale natin dapat consistent tayo sa scale. So we have AB, then BC, CD, DE, and EF. So ito yung EF. Then we have the reaction 19.925, that is FG. So yun yung FG. Then we have GH, GH, HI, IJ, JK, KL, and LA. So yan yung LA. So dapat yung starting point, that must be the end point para maging equilibrium siya. So pag hindi siya nag-close, then there is something wrong with the graphical solution. So dapat consistent tayo sa scale. Then we will mark yung mga panel distance natin. So we have, so dito we have here 1.1, then this is 0.2, that is 0.3, ito yung 0.4, then 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8 ito, then 0.9, then we have 0.10. So ilolocate natin yung mga numbers na 1 to 10. Okay, so from the from point LKJIHNG, so LKJIHNG, you have to draw a horizontal line since meron tayong horizontal line dito. Naka-horizontal line sila. From ABC, you have to draw a line parallel to the line on the top chord. So naka-parallel dito sa line. Then from D, E, and F, draw another line in which it is also parallel to the top chord. Kaya ito siya ngayon. So we have A, B, and C. That is the inclined line. So nakaparallel sa top chord. Then at F, E, at saka D, it is also a line which is parallel to the top chord. So naka-parallel siya. Then we will locate point 1. So point 1 is between L1 and A1. So yung A1, ito, L1, ito yan. So that is point 1. Ito yung point 1. Then we have 1, 2, or point 2. Point 2 is located between 1, 2 and K2. So 1, 2 is vertical, K2 is horizontal. So ito siya. That is point 2. Then 2, 3. So point 3 is in between 2, 3 and B3. So yung 2, 3, we have this one. Then ito naman yung B3. So the point of intersection will be point 3. Then yung point 4, located between 3, 4 and C4. So 3, 4 is vertical. Ito yan, 3, 4. And C4 is inclined. Ito yung C4. So we have here point 4. Then we look at point 5. Point 5 is between 4, 5 and 5J. So 4, 5 is inclined. So we have this one. 5J is horizontal. Then ito naman siya. Then we have 5, 6. Or point 6 is in between 5, 6 and 6I. So 5, 6 is vertical. So we have this one. 6I is horizontal. So ito naman yung 6I. So we have here point 6. Then locate point 7. Point 7 is between 6 and 7 at saka 7D. So 6 and 7, ito siya. Then 7D, ito yung 7D. And this will be point 7. Then locate point 8. Point 8 is between 7, 8 and 8E. 7, 8 is vertical. Then 8E is horizontal, diagonal. Ito yung 8E. So we have here point 8. Then point 9. Point 9 is between 8, 9 and 9, 8. So 8, 9 is diagonal. 9, 8 is horizontal. So itong horizontal. Then we have point 9. Then locate point 10. Point 10 is between G10, 910, and F10. So 910 is vertical. Yan yung 910. G10 is horizontal. Ito yung G10. And F10 is diagonal. So ito yung F10. So we'll able to determine now the Maxwell diagram based on the construction. So if we highlight the lines on the points dito, then ito na ngayon yung diagram natin. Ito na yung Maxwell diagram. So ang problema nyo ngayon dito will be to determine if the line is compression or tension. Anyway, pag kinuha na natin yung mga line dito, so as I've said, if you have used on a scale, say 1 centimeter is equal to 10 kilonewton. For every centimeter of the line, that is equivalent to 10 kilonewton. So, halimbawa, yung line A1, say 15 centimeter, so that will be equal to 150 kilonewton. If 1 centimeter is equal to 10 kilonewton. But if 1 centimeter is equal to 1 kilonewton, then for every 1 centimeter of the line, that is equivalent to 1 kilonewton. Okay, so ito na ngayon yung result natin. So we have now applied the scale. Okay, so we have 34.6 kilonewton L1, K2 34.6 kilonewton. Okay, so we have here K2, yan yung K2. 1, 2, L1, so yan yung designation natin dito. But if we have to determine the type of the force, if that is in tension or in compression, halimbawa, dito sa joint A, ito yung joint A. Joint A is intersecting by three members who have the reaction. So yung reaction, yung AB at saka yung the reaction, yung A1 rather, A1 at saka L1. So to determine the type of the force, we start at the reaction. Then it will follows by A1 at saka 1L. Okay, so yung reaction natin is LA. Okay. Ito yung L, ito yung A. So LA is upward. Okay. Tama yung direction natin, that is upward. Upward yung reaction. So LA is upward, then followed by A1. So A1, then 1L. So LA, A1 is compression. So yung direction ng A1 will be down to the left. So down to the left, ganyan yung direction ng force. So compression. So LA, then A1, then 1L. So yung 1L naman, that is towards the right. So towards the right, agpakas-jemet no ka. So that is how to determine if the force is tension or compression. So therefore, A1 is compression, L1 is tension. Okay, ito. L1 is tension, then A1 is compression. So ganun lang ang pagdetermine ng force by using the Maxwell diagram. So halimbawa naman, dito tayo sa joint, dito. So between 5 and 6, ito yung joint natin. Then we have a force of 3.1 kilonewton that is downward. So ang pagkuha ng diagram is pa-clockwise tayo. So we start at JI or IJ. IJ is downward, followed by J5, then followed by 5, 6, then followed by 6, 5. Okay, so we have JI. JI is downward. Okay, so ito. IJ no ka. IJ, downward, IJ. Then followed by J5. J5, agpa-left. Agpa-left di J5, that is tension. Then 5, 6, agpangato. 5, 6 is, that is also tension. Then 6I, subli GI, 6I, that is to the right. So JI nagpababa, J5 nagpakanigid, 5, 6 nagpangato, then 6I nagpakanawan. So all the forces that is acting on these members will be subjected to tension. So kasi lang di panangala tayo no, i-determine tayo no, tension is namin no compression. Okay, so nawatan nyo met lang dito ay discussion tayo ito. Ito yung Maxwell diagram. Okay, so we have now the different types of member L1, K2, J5, I6, H9, G10, A1, B3, C4, D7, E8, and F10. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9. Okay, so this is now the result of the dead load. For the wind, for the earthquake, no, for the live load, so ganun din yung pagkuha natin ng mga panel load and top chord. So we have to multiply the rough live load. Pag kinuha natin dito sa top chord, that will be the rough live load multiplied by 1.5, by 1.32. So yung 1.32 ang i-multiply natin, then divide that by, multiplied by 3.5. So for roof live load, wala tayong load dito sa ceiling. So walang load dito sa ceiling. Only on the roof will be loaded. So dito lang sa top chord rather. So top chord lang ang merong load. So there will be no load on the ceiling. So ganun din yung gagawin natin. We have to analyze that by using the Maxwell diagram. Then for the wind load, okay, so the wind load, okay, so this is based on the base ito sa 2010 NSCP. So in 2010 NSCP, every building or structure and every portion thereof shall be designed and constructed to resist the wind effects determined in accordance with NSCP. So the design wind pressure, P in kilopascal, so we have P that is equal to QH multiplied by GCPF. So pag meron tayong quantity dito na GCPF, isa lang yung term doon. Then minus GCPI, so it is also one term lang dito. Then that is for the low-rise building. Then building of all heights, P is equal to QGCP. So wala tayong quantity dito. So it means that meron tayong value ng Q, we have a value of G, and we have a value of CP. Then dito naman, we have QH times quantity GCPI. So dalawa naman yung term natin dito. We have QH and GCPI. Okay, take note on the velocity pressure. Our QZ is equal to 47.3 times 10 raised to negative 6 multiplied by KZ, KZT, B squared, and IW. So, ano yung wala dito? Sa diniscuss natin noon na pagkuha ng velocity pressure. Ano ang wala dito?